Okay guys, we're going to take a look at a couple of techniques I've been using lately when I'm rolling around with the guys. The first one will be a mount from side, and then we're going to look at some positional stuff in mount, moving into an arm bar. So from side, I like to teach my guys, you have your basic side control, and you can face up in that side control or face down. When I'm facing down, I have two options. I can have my weight high, or I can have my weight low for more of a lower body control. So sometimes you can get under this elbow on the back side. If I can't, it's going to be more of a lower body control like that right there. So I like to pinch the hip just to control that. He's able to move the upper body more, but this is a game I'll play in order to start looking for control of the legs or attack of the legs. Obviously, when I'm in this position, I've got to monitor this because I don't want to get kneed in the head. Sometimes I'll manipulate this leg, and depending on where he places this foot, if it's a little close, he gives me an option to shut it off there and control it, and then I'll have an option to start looking for this far leg. Once I have that trapped, I really don't need this anymore, but I like to put the hand there just to avoid getting kneed in the face. So if you come around, once I've got that little hook, I like to bring my knee up on the inside, on the side of his thigh. And you can go lower here, but what I want to do is I want to start to pressure the thigh, and I can start to walk the foot toward me. My main goal is to turn the hips here, because I want to shut him down and face him away. Now I'm not putting weight on him, but I can also add weight as I'm cutting into the body. And this limits his ability to use that bottom leg. So once I get in that position, I can start to work my hook in and come into a mount position. Once I hit mount, I don't really like to sit in the standard mount. I like to be a little higher or lower. And it depends on where he places his legs sometimes. If they're not quite as high, sometimes I'll put weight on them low, and I'll start to control them like that. He'll start to recover, and usually when he does, it gives me an option to come up high. I like to offset to the side. Usually one of the first things, good basic, I start working my way into the collar. I'm not necessarily working in just for a choke. I want to place for some mechanical movement, because I want to be able to drop my elbow and my body weight on the quarter of his body. Sometimes if I'm on the outside, you'll see his shoulder can come up and roll toward me. So my weight is going through the elbow, shifting that way. That'll give me an option to start working for a possible choke or looking for options on the far arm. I can also shift weight in that direction, so I'm driving the elbow that way, shoulders in the socket for good mechanics. Usually when I turn them in that direction, I'm looking to attack here. So I usually will start giving them something to get involved with, and I'm just looking for a little movement on that elbow so that I can get my knee under it, like that right there. Now generally he's going to be pretty tight, so I'll start walking my foot up just to get that elbow up like that. Once it gets high enough, switch the foot around, and I can shift weight into it. Here, I want to affect his spine. So I'm just going to turn the head, and I like to shift weight forward. It gives me an opportunity to find that arm. Now I want to free this leg up, so I'm shifting weight into that leg in order to free this up to come over. You can come over the head, but sometimes I'll just set a knee right on coach's face just to control the spine, or you can bring it all the way over the head. I really don't like to fall back to armbar. I like to submit in this position, because he may recover, and that gives me an option to go right back and stay into a dominant position. Sometimes if I fall back on an armbar and my partner's got a little bit of hustle, pulls the arm out, then we're both scrambling and starting all over from the position we just left. So that's some of the moves we've been playing with my guys lately. Don't show them this video, because I don't want them to know this. I want to at least be able to pull it off in the next month or two, right? Thanks, guys. Well, we're just talking to Coach about a conversation I had with Master Pedro Sauer at the last time he was here for a seminar. And I've been working on a lot of body placement drills lately. And I had a thought. So I went to him, I caught him in a moment of silence, because we probably had 80 people, 90 people here on the mat. And my question was, if a good practitioner wins in jiu-jitsu because of placement of the torso. And he agreed with me immediately. So, and you'll see in the technique we just did, one of the things we want to do is shut off their ability to use their torso here. And specifically for that technique, the lower part, the center of the body. So if a good practitioner wins with intelligent placement of the torso, it allows them not to overextend their arms and give you what you're looking for. So if we can shut that down and eliminate it and do it with stress, our goal is to get them to the point where they make a mistake and they switch to a secondary or a tertiary option. In other words, we want them to push with their arms because they can't achieve it here. And then we end up receiving a submission instead of having to go make it happen. That's a big difference to me between an intermediate and advanced guy. Is in his mind he goes, I know this submission, I'm gonna go make it happen. The advanced guy goes, I'm gonna put you in a position where you give it to me and I just wait on the gift. And we did also mention one of the quotes from Professor Sauer, and I heard it the first time when he was teaching a guard pass. And he said, it's much easier to have your opponent give it to you than you can take it. So if you can put them in a position where they choose side control because it's less pressure and less pain, it's always easier. He just gives it to me, gives me what I want. And I always tell a small story of Professor. It's like I've been with him for a long time and I know better than to do this. That's not a good thing when you're rolling with Professor Sauer. And you know, you'll go into it knowing it, but for some reason I do, right? I don't know why. Halfway through it, he's wrapping it up and getting ready to do something. Why did I do that? It's because he shut off all options except for that. That's all he gave me. And then he'll put you under a level of stress and make you forget that you're not supposed to do it, and you end up giving it away.